Hello everyone.
What is going on?
What is going on, guys? This video is going to be about
Things we've learned abroad in 2023.
the things that we have learned living abroad. Stay tuned. All right, guys. We are Aging Grateful. I am Bobbi.
I'm Cedric.
And man, have we learned some things?
Oh yeah, it's been
this year.
it's been a ride.
It has been, but it's been a good ride. It's been a good
Not a bad
ride.
thing.
No, not a bad thing. Every experience is an opportunity, right, to learn and to relish and enjoy. So we thought that we would come to share it with you guys as we normally do, and kind of share with you guys what we have learned.
Yeah, in no particular order or anything. It's just,
Just is what it is.
Yeah.
So let's start with one of the things that we've learned is
taking trips back to the U.S. can be expensive.
it can be pricey. Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting, because one of the reasons we had picked Puerto Vallarta is the closeness and ease of getting back to the U.S. But
as we have learned that there are some additional costs.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes with going back or back to wherever your
Where you're
home
from.
is to you. So an example of that is if you are going back to wherever you're from and you don't have a place that you can stay, you may have to buy or do Airbnbs or hotels, VRBOs or whatever you would have to do. So there's costs there, not including the airlines or what have you.
Rental cars.
Yeah, if you don't have any
Parking,
place to get around, yes.
Gas. I mean, it adds up
It
quick.
adds up. And something you think is a quick, maybe couple of day trip,
Yeah, a weekend trip
can turn into lots of moolah.
Oh, yeah.
Being spent.
Oh yeah.
And as you guys know on our channel, we are also planning for retirement. So we're in pre-retirement mode, planning for retirement. So those things can get costly.
Yeah. It I had a weekend trip to LA and it kicked my butt.
And I didn't even go, guys.
It kicked my butt.
I was
not ready.
I was sitting pretty here while he was in LA, right?
Yes, buddy.
And,
oh my goodness.
It was a commitment for our son's one of his volleyball tournaments. So,
Yeah.
needless to say, I'm not going to tell you how much that cost. But just know that we realize that taking trips back to the U.S. can be expensive.
Yeah.
Which leads us to our next point, which is living somewhere versus visiting or vacation, so like a beach town. Actually, it's totally different. The difference between the two.
Yeah.
You want to explain?
Well, you especially beach town, right? Everybody wants to take a vacation to the beach, to get away, to sit on the beach, do all these things, and it's nice and it's beautiful. And living in those same places is nice and it's beautiful, and you have the beach. But after a period of time, when that wears off, there's a lot. I mean, unless you're from a beach city or a town, there's a lot of unknown things that you don't even think about. One is the heat and the humidity, the salt tearing up your stuff. I mean, there's just so much more to vacationing in a place, in a place.
And not just that.
Living.
A lot of times when people are visiting or vacationing, they are choosing probably a good time of year to do that.
Yes.
You're living in these places, especially beach near the ocean or sea or whatever. You're dealing with tornadoes, hurricanes, in the not the what we consider the lower season, low season.
The rain and all that
yes,
stuff.
and so those are things that vacationers or people who are visiting may not be coming during that time frame, but we live in that time frame.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. Also, when people are vacationing, visiting versus living, they want to hit every spot. I mean, they want to do all the water activities. They want to go to the clubs. They want to go to the restaurants. They want to do all the museums. They want to do XYZ, top to bottom. And we may have done that maybe a couple of times, or 2 or 3 or 4, or after a while, those things that are exciting to you may not be exciting to us. And also, if we are on a budget, right?
Oh yeah.
Our goal is that we are trying to be wise stewards of our finances. And whereas you've planned appropriately, we hope, for your vacation or to visit, and set aside that money, it is something that a person that is living in those places may not have done that. They may not have budgeted accordingly for that trip because it's not a trip to them. They live there. So we are learning that there is a difference.
There's a big difference. There's things that that you just don't know until you know.
Yes.
You just don't know until you're there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that talk about the other thing is along those lines of living is leasing.
Oh, here we go, guys.
Leasing a place. I would, unless you just know that you're just gonna be, this is the place, the spot or whatever, I would probably do short-term leases.
Like
6 months, 3 months.
3 to 6 months. Yes.
Because you can always extend those if you love the place.
Now, the reason why we're saying that is because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And if a place allots you the opportunity to start with a short-term lease, you can in fact see if that's something that a place that you really want to stay.
Yeah, because things change. So going back to what you said earlier about, usually when people vacation, they vacation around the best time to be there, right, for the season. So living in a place, even if you scout it out and you're doing Airbnbs in different sides of towns and whatnot, when you live in a place, the first 3 months might not look like the second 3 months, might not look like the third 3 months, because seasons change, things change.
You don't know if it's really quiet when you first arrive, and then it's party hardy
during these times of year, these
know,
festivals.
So you don't know, and so starting slow,
yes,
is probably the best thing. But there's also caveats to that, and we talked about the fact that they could raise the rent on you if you want to extend. So you have to be prepared for that. And not only that,
usually when you do a shorter term, you may pay a couple of dollars more per month too. Maybe $100 more, $200, whatever it is, maybe more.
But it may cost you less in the long run.
Yes.
By doing that, if you stay someplace, 3 to 4 months or so, and then you're really absolutely loving the place and knowing that this is pretty much where you want to be, the neighborhood is great and easily and accessible to things, then you extend and you know what you're getting into.
Right. Because it could save you money in the long run, because if you're in a long-term lease and then now you don't like it and now you want to break the lease, there's all kind of things that can go along with that too. So fees and stuff like that. So you may save yourself some time and money and stuff. Just do short-term. If you love it, extend it. It doesn't. You can always
absolutely
extend the lease.
That's a learning tip from us. You heard it here first.
Yeah. And the next was talking about budget. Don't rent a place that's at the top of your housing budget.
Yes.
And
we mean rental budget.
Rental budget. And just to use easy numbers, if your max budget is $1,000 a month, I would love to find something cheaper, but if it's $1,000 a month is my max budget, and you find your dream place $4,000 a month, well, you have to think about the exchange rate changing, because it may be $1,000 a month today
in USD.
But
if depending upon where you're living, if the exchange rate is not forever in your favor.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
If it's not in your favor, then you wind up spending more than that $1,000.
It could be less, it could be more, but just know that it will fluctuate. And if you're at the stretching your budget, and the exchange rate goes not in your favor, that you're gonna have to account for that.
Absolutely. So take that into consideration when you're actually looking. And just a little piggyback on that. One of the things that we shared about our budgeting is that we use every dollar, and that especially when we talk about our food being in a separate budget, but even our rent is in a separate bucket. Like
account, yeah.
It is a separate account, separate from everything else, and that is where the rent comes from every month. So we already know, and it's easier for you to be able to do that. So that's just a little side
And
tip.
if you save your rent up, or whatever it's gonna be, and you put it in a separate high yield savings account, you can be earning interest off of that while you're waiting to pay your rent.
But that's another video we're gonna get into how we do that.
Yeah.
But these are some nuggets that we're learning, right?
Yeah.
All right, and so which leads us to another one here. Everyone's lifestyle is different. Don't make your budget off of what you heard that the cost of living is. Listen to me.
Oh yeah.
Let me say, we watch plenty of videos. Shout out to our YouTube family. Okay, we have people who visited many different places, and we watch you guys, and we love the content that you're sharing, us included. However, just because Joe Blow got a deal for $600 for a 50-bedroom single-story house with a mall attached for $600, and it included a car and an airplane, don't mean that you're going to get that, right? And realistically, you don't know when that person actually filmed that. You just don't know.
And not only that, even if all that aside, right? Your lifestyle may not be the same as the people's lifestyles that you're looking at, right? You can have somebody say, "Oh yeah, I rent a place for $1,000 a month, and I do this. My budget is $2,000 a month, and I use this for food, and I use that for that, and this for entertainment." And then you get there and you say, "Okay, maybe I find a place for $1,000 a month, but my food budget, I eat a whole lot more than what they're eating. How in the world are they eating this? Well, they're eating 15-cent tacos and ramen
18
noodles.
18 peso tacos.
Right. So
shout out to our tacos.
but it's they may have a totally different lifestyle, which can be a totally different budget being in the same exact place.
Correct. They could be fruitarians and all they eat because they sharing their budget.
Right.
But realistically, you don't even know what that includes in their budget. It might be subsidized. People might be cooking for them. So you just don't know.
Yeah. And you can use it for a general. I'm not saying don't use it for a general idea, but if you're holding that to gospel as this person said I could live here for $2,000 a month, chances are it's not going to be the same for you.
And also, you don't know exactly where those people are living, or how, right? They're showing you the outside. They may even show you the neighborhood, but outside of that, you don't know how far they may have to travel to get to XYZ. It may not work for you, but there are some reliable sites that you can use that can give you an accurate or more accurate picture. Again, we keep saying Numbio, shout out to us because we keep plugging you. but yes, but sites like Numbeo give you some figures to maybe start off with and build from there. So just know everybody's lifestyle is different. You might want to, you might want an ocean view, and somebody might want a jungle view. It's just relative. So just keep that in mind, that don't make your budget off of what we say either, because your lifestyle could be totally different than ours.
That's true.
All right, which leads us to our next point, which is being flexible, having flexibility and being open.
Yeah,
Woo!
I think that's probably number one, to be honest.
If we didn't learn that in our first week of being abroad, holy smoke. Look, open air living, I was flexible. Chakalaka's coming on my y'all need to look up what a chakalaka bird is and hear how it sounds. On your patio the first day. Wasn't the first day?
First day or two.
Oh my God, listen. If I couldn't get to those windows fast enough, our patio doors fast enough. But yeah, you have to be flexible and open living in a new place.
Yeah, I mean, just from the whole culture standpoint,
Yes.
I mean, you have to be flexible and open and just go with the flow. I mean, learn about the culture and go with the flow.
Please learn.
Because if you go to a restaurant in Mexico and you start complaining about why is it taking so long for this, why is it taking so long for that, that's just how it is.
Yes. And you just have to understand and adapt accordingly.
Yeah.
Or how about if you absolutely detest salsa? I'm not naming the names.
Mm-hmm.
But is willing to try it here and absolutely loves it.
You playing a violin on?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So I mean, we're saying that to say just enjoy where you are. You've chosen this specific area, whether it's somewhere new in the country you're in or abroad. Just be flexible, be open. Things are different places. All places are not the same.
Right.
And you have to have a sense, especially if you are traveling to someplace new, you have to have a sense of being open to the experiences that are before you, and don't be so ready to shut it down or look at it as bad without knowing the intent.
Reason, right, yeah.
One classic example of that is Dias de Muertos.
Right.
Oh my gosh, shout out to Mexico and other places that actually embrace this celebration. And regardless of wherever we are, you know what? Definitely I want to hold fast to that, because believe it or not, I'm just going to call it out. Some people think it is a demonic holiday or something like that, which is so crazy. The mindset is so crazy, because it is actually honoring those that have gone before you, honoring and spending time intentionally reflecting and remembering people that you love, your loved ones. And I think that that's beautiful, the way that they do that. And if it were not for the fact that we were embracing this culture and learning more and more about the things here, the appearance to people, oh my God, anyway, just know that you have to be open. It is not always, things don't always appear to be what you think they are. Okay. Also things like being open to trying new things. I had started a little series talking about I was today years old when I tried these different foods, right? And something as simple as a blueberry, right? A blueberry. Holy smoke. The blueberries here do not taste like the blueberries in the
I've never
United
liked
States.
blueberries pretty much all my life.
Oh,
But the blueberries here are good.
the blueberries be blueberrying.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something. I act like it was my first time ever having fruit before in my life, but that's because it's the willingness to be open to try things, and so we are learning
Yeah.
that process here,
Yeah.
which leads us to change of mindset.
Yeah,
Right.
we kind of just talked about that.
We
Yeah,
did
changing
kind of
mindset.
change mindset. And also, let me say, changing of mindset. If you come here or come anywhere and your mind is not right, don't think changing the setting
The environment,
is going to change the mindset, because it may not. Okay, it's not. If you're running from something, sometimes that something might be you.
yeah.
And you're going to take you with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
And so mindset is definitely key. Things do not work the same way different
Yeah.
places.
And again, like you said before, like, isn't that the whole reason why you move somewhere else, so you can have a change?
Mhm.
But then you don't want to change the habits and the thing and embrace what's going on around you. So it's kind of weird.
Which kind of brings us to bringing your lifestyle with you
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
Because as an example, we had a gentleman who was following us in a store one time, right? And I have no other way to say it. Normally, if we were being followed in a store, unfortunately, the reason why
Yeah.
is because the color of our skin.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's no other way to say that, right?
Yeah.
And yes, we have experienced this before. It's not a new thing. It's not unheard of.
Yeah.
It happens. However, here, someone was doing that, but they were doing that to try to tell us where we were supposed to be going to check out.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they could see we was looking perplexed, and so they were trying to share with us where to go.
Yeah, not only that, because we had went upstairs with the stuff, and you couldn't
wasn't
leave the
supposed
floor,
to. Right?
and I had no idea. But the thing was, when the guy started following me around, I noticed initially my mind was, oh, here we go. But then I was like, you know what? I'm in another country. I don't know, if that's the case, whatever. And it ended up being that's not the case. He was genuinely
he was very respectful,
Yeah.
very genuine, very friendly. It was really a good conversation. It was not what you would have thought that the outcome was supposed to be about. But
and it could have turned into
oh yeah,
it had not changed for my changing my mindset. It could have turned into a big mess.
yeah. So just understanding that things are not the same everywhere, and when you're bringing your lifestyle with you, meaning like if you have these grandiose dreams that you're gonna run a 5K and lose 150 pounds and rollerblade on the streets and you just broke your leg yesterday in the States, or wherever, if you are normally like a person who likes to sit and watch TV or read, just know that 9 times out of 10, that might be what you're gonna be doing.
You're doing the same thing,
when you get to your new destination, because it's not necessarily the atmosphere or the environment, it is you.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going to be bringing whatever that lifestyle is with you, unless you intentionally want to change it and do so.
Yeah.
But just know that falling back into a routine is you. It's not the
It's not the
area.
environment.
Which brings us to another thing that we've learned.
What's that?
If you are coming to a new location, regardless of where it is, you need a credit card or emergency fund
Oh yeah.
for the what ifs. And the what ifs could be like hospital visits. It could be emergency need to get home for a reason. It could be that you have a hurricane that comes through and your place is out of electricity and water and everything, and you got to go find an Airbnb across town. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah. And people, I mean, probably the number one question is always how much should your emergency fund be, and I have no idea. That's up to the individual people and what you're trying to budget for an emergency. I mean, the good rule of thumb is usually the 3 to 6 months. However, if you have a steady income that's consistent and you know what it is, you may be able to offset that because you got a steady income, right? So, but it's always good to have an emergency. I mean, there's no way around it.
So, and we talk about this a lot. So, you know, we're not disagreeing with each other. We're just adding to each other's thought process, because I was going to say too, if you are going to have a credit card, at least try to have the limit about $10,000 if you can have
At a minimum.
At the minimum. And the reason why is because, just a little side tip, if you do have to go to, let's say, a hospital, emergency room visit, a lot of times if it's something where they're going to have to keep you, they like to at least be able to charge about $10,000 or so.
$15,000
For your hospital stay, until they figure out how much the cost is going to be for your actual hospital stay.
Right.
So just to be able to have that is really good if you can do that.
Yeah.
So that's just a little tip. Also, shout out to health insurance too. Make sure you get health insurance abroad if you can. That is something that we're telling you this because this is something we're looking at doing now. We have some insurance, but we're looking at some health insurance for abroad.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. This is real things that we are learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then a next thing is this one. My husband will probably get on his soapbox, but it's a better quality of life doesn't mean a cheaper quality. A cheaper life.
Right.
So you want to elaborate?
I mean, it's just there's this kind of, I think, in my opinion, there's this illusion that moving abroad is so cheap. The places are so cheap, and the food is so cheap, and all this stuff is so cheap.
Oh.
And
can I say the people are so cheap?
the people are so cheap.
That.
Now, that may be a true statement. That can be a true statement in a lot of places, but it doesn't necessarily. And I would say affordable. I wouldn't even say cheap.
Cheaper.
That's a relative to, and it doesn't even have to be cheaper. It depends on what lifestyle you're living.
True.
So it may not be cheaper for me to have a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house in Mexico versus the United States. It may be the same price.
Absolutely.
But the chances of it being a bigger house and a better location and lifestyle being better is high, I would say. And that's what I mean
relative.
by it's relative. Yeah, and that's what I would say about a better quality of life doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be any cheaper to have that quality of life.
Correct. And it's all also relative to what your lifestyle is right now. Let's just say this. Could you indeed find a place that offers you the things that you would like, maybe offer you more amenities and activities and things like that, better quality of food and stuff like that? Absolutely, you'd be able to find that.
Yeah.
Would it be at a cheaper price point than where you are now? Could be, but that may not necessarily be the case.
Just don't be surprised if it's not. That's what I'm getting at. Chances are it will probably be, cheaper than where you come from, but don't be surprised if it's not.
Yes, because it seems like from what we're seeing, things are going up everywhere. Yeah, so just keep that in mind as you are, making your decision about where you may want to live. But definitely, I will tell you that from our perspective, you may be able to live a good quality of life in these different areas, for sure.
Yeah.
Which leads us to a part of our better quality of life, which is my husband's thing, taking the bus more.
Yeah.
Instead of our Ubers.
Yes. We finally took, for a long time, we didn't take the bus at all. It's just, I don't know what it was. For me, it may have been, like, every time I got ready to take the bus, it would be, it seemed like a million people on it and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do it. But what had happened was, I got with some local guys. My brother-in-law, he does a chess club with the locals. And we were all out playing chess across town, and we were going to leave. A couple of local guys were like, they were going to catch the bus to go back home, and I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to catch the bus. I got local guys speaking Spanish. If anything go wrong, I know they can all that. And so I kind of walked to the bus stop with them, and I act like I catch the bus all the time. I didn't even tell them I had never rode the bus before. I just went along with it. And I did ask him, like, because we were going different directions, so I was asking, like, which bus. He's like, oh, you just go take this bus, this number here, just go get on that. So got on the bus, and it was fine. I was fine. It was actually quite enjoyable. It was late at night, it's about probably 11 at night, whatever. Got on the bus. It was good times. People getting on off the bus was, interesting. They had a rap group get on there and rap, and all kinds of stuff was going on. But it was pretty interesting, and it made me more comfortable. So then, I started taking the bus during the daytime, just from different places, and I'm like, oh, this isn't bad at all. If I'm going to Walmart or anywhere on that side of town, I can go pay, 10 cent, 20 cent,
pesos,
50 cent. I can go pay 50 cent,
which is 10 pesos.
50 or 60 cent versus spending, $7 or $8 or even more sometimes on Uber, depending on the time of day. So, and you really don't get there any faster in the car. I mean, it's not, we all driving the same thing, and the way the buses here, they're not stopping at every stop. If ain't nobody sticking their hands out, waving them down or whatever, they just rolling. So, but yeah, I think that was one thing I kind of look back on and say, man, we could have definitely saved a ton of money. Just
not a ton, but we could have
saved a lot of money versus Uber. We could have saved, a big chunk of money taking the buses. And there's time and place for it. And,
absolutely.
And sometimes it's just hot. Sometimes I just don't feel like being bothered. Sometimes I need to go here and get what I need to do and get back. So those things, just grab an Uber. But to be more intentional about
taking the bus,
about Uber not being my first thought.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of is now. Uber's not my first thought. Let me go at least half the trip. Let me take the bus there and Uber back, or vice versa, or something like that. So.
Especially Walmart. After I could take the bus to Walmart, but coming back, I might, depending on how many bags
and stuff.
I got, So, but we are more intentional about taking the bus now instead of Uber, and these are things that we are learning, right?
Yeah.
Which takes us to something called work.
Yeah. Working, if you're going to be working abroad, make sure you have backups of everything. Make sure you have either a backup internet provider, or you have a place where you can go to that has internet for backup, because it will go out.
Yes, the power will go out.
Yeah, internet
will go out.
It's not a matter of if, it's just when. It will go out.
Yes.
And have surge protectors on your electronics, and I would even say if you're not using them, to unplug them, because a lot of places, well, if you have the more modern, newly built condos, are probably better at it, but the colonial houses, they don't do a lot of grounding, and they'll have a three-prong plug, but if you pull the socket out of the wall, there's nothing attached to the ground. So typically what happens is when the power goes out and it comes back on, the surge goes through and it starts frying. I mean, we've lost two routers, two fans,
yeah,
ceiling fans sparking, just all kinds of stuff. Microwave, we had a friend, the refrigerator stopped working. I mean, just these things happen.
Yes.
On a regular basis.
Always have a backup.
So have a surge protector, spend the money, get the surge protectors, and battery backup or whatever you need for those things, because it will save you in the long. And it's not like you're just gonna go, oh, my laptop fried, let me just run down to the store and get another laptop. It don't work like that.
No.
So you definitely want to
Protect
have
yourself.
that, protect yourself. Yep.
And which brings us to our next thing, which is have fun.
Yes.
We are learning. Don't forget the reason why we decided to do this. This is a new experience for us, and our intention is to enjoy the journey, right? Enjoy the destination, right? That's what our intention is. So we're gonna have fun as much as there are things that pop off.
Yeah.
We definitely are enjoying
Yeah.
and having fun. So we are learning that.
Yeah.
Which brings us to something that we did ask our daughter, who is with us, about what she's learned this year, and this is from her. And she says that moving abroad can be stressful, but it's definitely a time to learn about yourself and how to handle or deal with the process of moving abroad. So she says she has learned the process of learning about herself and how strong she is, and how to deal and handle with the move abroad process, right? So kudos to her for sharing that and willingness to share that information with us and you guys.
Yeah.
And our final thoughts that we have are basically, we just pray and hope that you guys are able to enjoy and know that this is doable, but know your reasons why you're moving.
Yeah.
Know because challenges are gonna come. They just happen, and things change so quickly, and you're learning so much, and you have to just understand that there's a purpose behind it. Your purpose may not be what our purpose was. We're pre-retirement, we're about trying to plan for retirement and savings. Yours might be that you tired of where you are, and you need to get out. Some retirement, just looking for a location, freedom, right? Just whatever the situation is, just know what your reason is and stick by that reason.
Yeah.
Any thoughts for you?
That's pretty much it. Have fun. It is doable. Get in these Facebook groups and the places that you think you might want to go to. Get in the YouTube communities. Interact with the YouTube community and channels. People are doing it every day.
Don't let people dissuade you from whatever you are trying to do.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we have one life. And you're not promised tomorrow. And don't put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off, and then you don't get that opportunity.
Correct.
So
enjoy.
That's all I would say. Just enjoy.
All right. Peace out, guys. Much love.
Deuces. See you next time.
Bye.